Okay, so then we've got Lucy. Now, obviously, most of you know about this guitar because it came from Vanderbilly. This is a Sharpen Your Axe Telecaster, made to Gary's specifications for me that he thought would particularly suit me. He's even dedicated it to me on the back of the neck, upside down. Made for Jody, 20th of January 2012, number such and such, Gary Madison. Fantastic guitar, coil tapped for humbuckers single coils. I chose the colour, and I still think it's the best choice I've ever made, including the maple neck. Since I've touched this guitar, I am completely sold on maples. I'm never going back to rosewood in my life. I absolutely love the neck on this. It's just exactly the right size for me. Nice and smooth. No varnish on the back of it, which is fantastic. Plays like a dream. Nice low action. Never goes out of tune. I haven't had to tune this in for about the last week. It's ridiculous. You know, if I could say one criticism of it, it does collect dust very easily. You know, it always does quite dusty because it's so beautiful and you want it to be nice and clean. But yeah, certainly my best guitar, hands down. I can't say thank you enough times to Gary. Just fantastic, great gesture from everybody at Vanderbilly. It's going to stay with me my entire life. This would be the one thing, if the house was burning down, that I'd rescue straight away. I can't say enough good things about it. Lately I am discovering the power of the single coils in it, which may sound obvious with a Telecaster, but for some reason I stayed in the humbuckers for most of the time. Which do sound nice, and I can use them for a lot of things. It's such a versatile guitar. And I've only just broken a string on it. It's had the same strings on since Gary sent it to me, and last week one finally broke. I had to change them. I changed them all and it suddenly sounded like a new instrument again. But when you lift the switches and coil tap it, it comes into its own. And my recent videos, some people have been saying how much I stepped up lately. I don't think I actually did. I think my recording philosophy has upped a little bit. I used to leave mistakes in and not really care and do everything one take. Recently I've just been miking my amp a little bit better. I've been adding mids in Reaper to my recording signal to what's the word, to senior moment, to compensate for my useless microphone. If I add the mids, it will sound much more like it does in a room. But yeah, but also what the improvement was I switched to the single coils. Cleans up my signal, and I've turned the gain down a lot, which I know some of you will like. I quite like high gain, even if it is a bit of a noob thing to do. But I love that neck pickup when single coils, like. It's just beautiful sound. It's nice, clean too. I'm not really playing any key there, just anything. Okay, I better shut up because I could talk about this all day. Okay, amps. Now, I'll leave this plugged in. This amp was the second amp that I've ever had, and it's still the only other one other than my custom. In fact, you can see them both there. I've only got two. I outgrew that like I did my first ever guitar, and then I bought this. It's nearly on its way now, though. It's dying a little bit. When I switch to, well, if I turn that volume now, you'd hear a lot of crackling, and it'll go loud and quiet, and it's the pots and knackered on it, as I found through asking in the forums about it. But it's pretty nice though. It gets the job done. I mean, if you kick some pedals on the clean channel and they don't work, you switch to the gain channel, the overdrive channel, and fiddle about there. You can almost always get a tone that you want. It's got built-in effects, digital effects. It's got reverb, delay, chorus, and flange. You can alter the amounts and the volume of them. It's got this FDD switch. Switch that on and it just lifts everything a little bit. It's kind of a slight boost. It's not too much, but it's just always on anyway. You can plug your CDs into it. You've got a foot switch loop, headphone, you know. It's a Marshall MG Series 30 DFX. It's the same as Tugwell's, and I think the one that Mike got for Golf Head is a similar thing, but I think Golf Head's is the next model up. It's a bit more advanced than these. Other than that, nice amp. It served me well. I think I'm going to have to get a new one soon though, because this one's going to die. But I think the Stratocaster's first. I've got to buy one. The amp can come later. Now, quick notes before I move on to my pedals are the picks that I use. Now, I've got quite a few here. This is actually my favourite pick. I've been using this for a long while. It's just a standard yellow plastic one. It's quite reasonably thick. It's not thin. It's quite sturdy. You can see how much it's worn down though. I get quite attached to my picks. I don't like throwing them away. I like to use the same one quite a lot. I've also got this one, which actually also came with the first ever Encore guitar. Came in the box, and I'm still using it. It's so that is, you know, about 10 or 11 years of one pick. You can see how it's worn down, but it's really fat, so it doesn't go anywhere really. I love that pick. It's great. I've got an even fatter one that came at the same time as it. It's like a little piece of plywood. It doesn't bend at all. You can't bend it. Even the pattern's not worn off. It's so sturdy, but it sounds really nice. You get kind of warm, creamy tone with it. Kind of softens the sound down a bit. You can tell the difference if I switch to, say, the yellow one. So pay attention to the pick that you're using, because it can have a big influence on your sound. Recently, for the alternate picking that I've been working on, I found this old Bert Weedon pick. Don't ask me where it was or where I got it from. It's just one that I found in my collection. It's kind of strange to use because it's square, but you can get quite a nice quick picking. And I also, when I bought this acoustic the other day, made sure on Kaicho, was it that suggested it, a jazz pick for alternative picking? So I made sure I got one of those, a little Fender heavy gauge thing. It's only as big as the end of my finger, it's very small. Not very good with it yet, but anyway, so that's a little tip as a passing thought to keep in mind what pick you're using, because it's a very integral part of your playing, more than you think. It's not just there to pluck the strings, it also gives a sound. So try that. Now I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to talk about the pedals for a little while that I've acquired. Okay, going to be a long one this. See you later. Before I do that, I forgot to mention the acoustic that I acquired. It's basically my first ever acoustic. I had a little orange classical thing, made by Alba, I think it was. It was really a heap of junk. I mean, the strings were absolutely shot on it. You couldn't play it. The neck was so wide. The action was so high. It sounded awful. Terrible, like, guitar. I think I got it off a car boot sale for about a £5. And anyway, we've got a music teacher friend in the village, and this is the guy that's putting on the Fame musical that I'm supposed to be in. I've got the soundtrack, so I am now roped into doing that, by the way. And it's awful. But I gave it to him for the students at the school, so I wanted to get the satisfaction of smashing it to pieces. I've always wanted to smash a guitar to bits, but I thought that was probably a wiser idea, you know, help the needy. So I bought this. I got a fairly good deal on it. I've never heard of Adam Black, and nobody in the forum has said that they're nice guitars, so I imagine it is not. I probably made another dud decision, but it sounds nice to me. Not that I know anything about acoustics, because this is literally the first one that I've ever played that's anywhere near decent. I can't really demo it at the moment because the second day that I had it, the high E strings broke. Really annoyed about it, but I've sent for some new strings. I sent for some Martin strings of different gauges, and also the Martin's Clapton's Choice strings that Jack recommended. I figure if they're good enough for Jack, they're good enough for me, so I'm going to shove some of them on there and then do a demo afterwards. Really, it's really nice for finger picking. Not that I would play Stairway, but I haven't got a high E string. I'm also working on Bronior, or Bron-Ra, however you want to pronounce it, from Amy's lesson. Most of Jack's lessons, some Treebeard lessons, many tabs, some Bonamassa songs. But I'm kind of on hold at the moment because of my high E string, and I didn't get any spares because I'm an idiot. But anyway, it's a really nice guitar. It's built really nice. It's got a tuner built in with some controls which they were asking about. Presence, mid, treb and bass, and you can, yeah, basic acoustic guitar. That's all I wanted. I didn't want something top of the range. Just something so I had an acoustic to fiddle on when I'm watching TV, and you know, try some new techniques and try and improve my playing a little bit, because after all that's all we ever want to be, isn't it? Just a little bit better than we are at the moment. So that's what that was for. Nice thing. Okay, so now I will talk about my pedals. Back in a second when I work out how to change my camera angle. Cheers.